Hello, my name is Lady Calamere and welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing great. I am doing my 208th presentation. It will be on the goddess Astarte. Before I go on, sorry I did not get this out yesterday. I misplaced my phone, had it stolen, so I had to get a new one. And just for safety's sakes, I had to get a new phone number. So it's the second time I changed it this year. So anyways, sorry about that. Anyways, uh, Astarte. Where to begin with her? She is, as I like to call her, the Amazing Grace. I know that sounds Christian, but she is the Amazing Grace. Astarte is the daughter of Asherah and El. She is sister to Baal and Anat. And both Anat and Astarte are married to Baal. Astarte, well, has been compared to like Inanna and Ishtar and said to be the same, but that's like globalization of the goddess. Globalization of taking one goddess and say, well, this goddess is actually this goddess and that goddess and that goddess. Well, your goddess is actually my goddess. But she's been compared to, or said to be Hathor, which is Het Aphrodite, Freya, said to be Ishtar, Inanna, and then even later to even said to be actually her sister Anat, as well as her mother Asherah. Me, I like to see them as separate deities. And she later, it becomes the goetic spirit Ashtaroth, and is mentioned even in the Bible as Ashtaroth. And Ashtaroth meaning the many Astartes. Interesting. And also, but meant by the Christians to mean, and Jew, but not just Christians, to the Abrahamic religions as to mean shameful. Interesting note that I want to bring up is when the new god came to town, was brought into town, Yahweh, he was placed in the same temples as Asherah, El, and Astarte, and there seemed to be no problem. And they resided with each other for 300 years. But then here comes the fanatics who said in the Bible, I think it was Josiah, who denounced Astarte and her worship. In the book of Jeremiah, I believe. But anyways, she became, instead of a goddess who is worshipped, revered, and venerated and loved, she now became scorned, hated, denounced, and even demonized. Where Ashtaroth eventually even loses her feminine face and just becomes male, but in Goetia, Ashtaroth is female. But as a goddess, she is the queen of heaven. She is a cup that is eternity. Oh, great goddess whose cup is eternity. You are the queen of heaven and earth and all of life. So she's the queen of heaven and earth and all of life, and she's also associated with water and the ocean and life, pregnancy, and fertility. She represents all women in all phases, from newborn to old age. She protects women, and she represents the woman functions, the woman bodily functions. She represents the menstruation. She represents the PMS, that's premenstrual menstruation. She represents all the from going through puberty for a woman to menopause. She represents all the feminine hormones, estrogen. Seriously, where's my napkin? She represents all that is feminine. No, you are not turning on the TV, Jack. She represents all that is feminine. Her name means fertile womb and also star. She is a celestial goddess. She is the goddess of the stars and the heavens and the sky. She represents, as you see, this is a statue of her, astronomy as well as astrology. Astronomy as well as astrology. Her planet is Venus. She was worshipped. Her origin is Levantine, but she was worshipped by the Canaanites, the Phoenicians, the Philistines, the Semitic people, ancient Hebrews, the Egyptians, the Canaanites. And yes, she was brought into Egypt. She later on, when I said her husband is Baal, she later on becomes a wife. I'm sorry, she is the wife of Baal, not the husband of Baal. She's the wife of Baal, but also becomes the wife of the god Set. And she was given to Set by Neith as a consolation prize from losing the throne in the fight against Horus, or Heru. In Egypt, believe she's the daughter of Ra. So even the Egyptians worshipped Astarte and Anat. Her planet is Venus. Her day is Friday. During the morning and evening star, which is actually not a star but a planet, when the rising of Venus in the day, she is a war goddess. Deals a lot with war and as well as hunting. War and hunting. And Venus at night, she deals with pleasure, love, fertility, sex. Now, compared to Anat, now she does everything with, she does so much with Anat. But Anat and Astarte, they have some differences. Okay? Anat, if you compare Astarte to Anat, Astarte is more approachable than Anat. Anat also deals with love and sex and beauty and pleasure, but she also deals with warfare. But unlike Astarte, she's very temperamental. Anat is very temperamental, more bloodthirsty than Astarte. She can pitch a fit real quick. And I'm not putting down Anat at all. But she can lose her temper very, very, very quick. And Anat she will wade and bathe in blood. She will delight with bloodshed. Sort of like I guess it's between the difference between burning down a house and nuking a house. Where a knot is the nuke. A knot brings can bring uh, total devastation. It's a knot is more temperamental, more angry, angry than Astarte would be. So, but that's for another presentation. But she does so much with her sister, Anat. They do a lot of things together. And they do have some of the same titles, like Astarte Anat shares the Lady of Heaven. They also share the Lady of Mercy, goddess of all the spirits, but they start separating. So they do have differences. So things about Astarte. We're going to get more into Astarte. She's a goddess of war. She's a goddess of hunting. She's a goddess of feminine power. She's a goddess of beauty, the goddess of love, the goddess of sex, the goddess of marriage. She even becomes the goddess of prostitution. She's the goddess of all girls and women. She is the goddess of the stars, astrology and astronomy. Sorry if I'm repeating, but this is how I teach and learn. As Astarte, she also, just like her, she is, as I said, she is the cup who holds eternity. She is the goddess who deals with time and time spells. So to feel like you're slowing down time or quickening time, that is the goddess to go to. She is said to also wear a crown, a headdress that has horns, bull horns, to show her might, her greatness, her political power. She is also called the power of Baal, the face of Baal. And Baal, the great god, one day I'll do a presentation on it. And by the way, if you want to learn more about Baal, check out Baal Codman's book. Oh, no, you don't bite me. It's a pretty good book on Baal. Now, Loki, go play with something. Loki tried to bite me. So, she is the goddess who her animals deal with lions, which you see right here, horses, bovines, cattle, especially cattle, snakes, and doves. She manifests. She's usually seen as she's beautiful, sexy, drop dead gorgeous, knock 'em dead gorgeous, bombshell of a woman. Sometimes she's even seen horn. And as you can see right here, we have the moon horns. So her main planet is Venus, but she also deals with lunar powers as well. As you see, she deals with the wheel of time. As I said, she deals with time spells. And here's her symbol right here, if you can see it. She sometimes comes as winged, a winged, glorious goddess of victory and of power. She is the power, not just of political might, but priestesshood and power and belief within oneself and self-confidence. Let me turn this around. This is, as you can see, is very, very huge. And we have more symbols. Her incense, and you see right here, reeds. Her incense, if you're interested in making incense, get dried reeds, frankincense. Dried reeds and frankincense. You can add some myrrh, of course, myrrh, and some benzoin. Great Astarte incense. See, is Queen of Heaven. She is the Queen of Heaven and Earth and life and of growth. She's a goddess who deals with the fertility of the fields and animals and pregnancy of women. She helps women during pregnancy and childbirth. Her symbols, believe it or not, is also the Sphinx. She was also worshipped in Tyre, Sidon, Malta, Eryx, Cytherea. Ow! She has, which Eryx is Mount Iris, Sicily. You gotta seriously stop trying to bite me, boy. So she is the goddess of women, but also men can worship her. She also deals with transgender, when men become women. And that was also done in ancient times, where the men, some of them, not all of them, but there are some dedicants to her that would be castrated. They would dress as women, wear makeup, they would fight, they would do chants and dances and sing to Astarte. So if you're a man who becomes woman or dress like a woman, you don't have to have the surgery to become a woman. You could dress like a woman. This could be for a life, for who you are, your lifestyle, who you are, or it could just be a thing of a fetish, or it could be something for ritual. It doesn't matter. She deals with that. She's also for women who have been abused or raped by men. So she is for women who have been abused and raped by men. And anyone who, man or woman, who did not grow up with a positive mother figure, or who grew up with a toxic mother figure, or didn't have a mother figure, or was abandoned by the mother, Astarte is a goddess for you. For those who have mother issues, she is a goddess for you. Whether you are a man, woman, or whether doesn't matter what sexual identity you are. It doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is either. If you have had a toxic or a narcissistic or a psychopathic mother, or have been abused or never known what a good mother was, she is the goddess for you. So for those who had a mother maybe who was an alcoholic, an addict, or emotionally, verbally, physically, even unfortunately, even more disgusting is sexually. If you were abused by that, I call it that. She is a goddess for you. She will help you heal, and of course, therapy helps. But she is a goddess to pray to. She is a goddess to pray to you too. She can help you on your healing journey. For those who have been abandoned and cast out, she is the goddess for you. For those who have only known the toxic feminine, there is a toxic femininity as well as toxic masculinity, because there's two sides of the toxic coin there. She can help you with that. She can help you. If you're a woman, say, you know what? That's toxic. Don't be like that. And she can show the man that not all women are toxic. She helps the single mother, the mother who had to escape the other half, or who has been abandoned by the other half. You know, the sperm donor, not a father, but not a dad, but just the father. There's a difference between a dad and a father. And anyone who, hurts their children is a piece of shit. You're better off abandoning them. Even though I don't like that shit either. But I'd rather the kid to be abandoned than be abused. You know? And I don't want to see a kid thrown out in the street either. If you can't raise your kid, think adoption, okay? Or think of having your kid fostered until you get your good head on your shoulders. But anyways, it's enough of that. Her herbs and things that she likes, and some of these, and pretty much a lot of them are traditional, or dealing with myrtle, coriander, lilies. She likes roses. She also likes the date tree. So let's go talk about her sacred places. She had many temples, and her temples had trees and foliage. But her sacred places also hilltops, caves, and groves. She had many major temples like Byblos, Beirut, Malta, Sidon, Tyre, Mount Iris, Sicily, Cytherea. She had temples and was honored until around 200 CE, 200 Common Era. So let's talk about her offerings. When archaeology have found wells or holes that were dug into the earth and seawater was put in as offerings. So we see her connection with the sea. She was offered seawater. So if you have a beach around or an ocean or coastline, that would be a good offering. You can also give her water with salt. You can make it fancy. Pink salt, gray salt, white salt. Or you can give her fresh plain water. Now, in ancient times, doves were sacrificed to her, and dove's blood was used to consecrate and purify her temples. Now, I'm not saying, hey, go out and get yourself a dove. I'm just telling you that in old times. So today we can use dove's blood perfume or dove's ink. Dove's blood ink. Which in one time, old times, was ink made from dove's blood. But we can use modern days dove's blood ink. Clothing stained with menstrual blood. Phoenician offering, and that's a traditional Phoenician offering, was cloth in menstrual blood. So today we can think of sanitary napkin, menstrual cup, tampon, your panties or underwears that have been stained with blood from your menstruational blood. Milk and butter, dairy. So we can get creative with this. We can think what's made with dairy that's good. Ice cream, whipped cream, heavy cream, whipping cream, milk. It could be simple milk or organic milk. Your choice. Astarte has a sweet tooth. She has a very sweet tooth. She's like me. She loves sweet things, candy. And we can get, in modern times, chocolate. She loves all types of sweet things, cookies, bakery things from the bakery, pastries, cakes. Cakes were given to her. Honey. So you can add milk and honey. Make honey butter. Mix honey and butter together. So sweet cakes. She loves roses and she loves perfume. So think of essential oils, essential perfume oils, perfumes, parfums, toilet water. Another thing that she likes is meat. She likes lamb and beef. Also, and offerings that were done to her, were given to her, were meat and lamb. So lamb, beef, and they were cooked. The meat was cooked in the milk, the mother's milk. And from what I can understand and gather, and I know I have friends that told me a kosher meal, you cannot have dairy with meat. So you can't have a cheeseburger. You cannot have dairy with your food. No glass of milk with your hamburger. And the reason that I gathered is in pagan times, especially to the Queen of Heaven, they, and to Astarte, in which later on the Abrahamic God hated, they cooked the meat in milk to soften it and make it more delightful. So these offerings were eaten. They would make this and they would give to offerings and they would eat themselves. And they would eat meat cooked in the milk. So now this is not kosher. A cheeseburger is not kosher. You can have cheese and you can have meat. You just can't eat them together. So, cheese dog? Nope. Hamburger? Nope. Well, actually, hot dogs, they have kosher hot dogs. You can't eat that. So, well, neither is shellfish kosher or pork, but there's a whole big thing with it, but they cannot eat it. So think of it when I say sweets, pies, cakes, cupcakes. Back with the sweets, muffins, goodies, goodies. Still got some of that trick-or-treat candy? Well, swipe it off your kids and give it to the Astarte. That is so mean. That is so mean. But hey, Thanksgiving's coming up. Just think about that. The sweets. Give her some pumpkin pie. Give her some of that sweet potato pie. Give her some of those cookies. And give her some meat. She's a goddess of feasts and food. She deals with food as with her sister. For El, the father, the sister, Anat, would roast some ribs. And Astarte would cook the steaks for the father, El. Also, when he wasn't feeling good, they would go out foraging for healing herbs. So both of them deal with healing. Not only of feasting and cooking, but healing. So she is a goddess of plenty and prosperity and money and fortune. She's a goddess of lucrative gains. She's a goddess of a store full of food, a pantry full of food, and a wad of cash in your, in these days, wad of cash in your wallet. She's the goddess of plenty. She is the goddess that increases growth. She is a great protecting goddess. She can open your crown to allow your energy to flow and for the Kundalini to rise. She deals with the Kundalini power. And I know that's more Indian and more Hindu, but she deals with energy centers and energy flow. The ebb and flow of energy. She can get rid of the bad energy, the stale energy, and make the fresh and healing energy and powerful energy to increase within yourself. She can also crack open the the spiritual centers of your enemy. She can crush your enemy. She can totally tear apart and rend your enemy. Especially if she has come to love you, she's a protective lioness with her cub. I got this huge. I really adore Astarte. King Solomon. They say, oh, he was a religious Jew, but here's the thing. He had many wives, and they were of different cult beliefs, of different deities. So he actually built different temples for his wives. And one of the temples, other than Asherah, was also Astarte. King Solomon did that. And King Solomon, they said God got angry at him. That God was displeased by him because he tried to introduce the worship of Astarte to Jerusalem. He was a magician. He worked magic. He was a conjurer. He was an exorcist. Yet he also tried to introduce the worship of Astarte to Jerusalem. So now there is some false information that Astarte's name provides the origin to the Easter holiday, or I'm sorry for laughing, but that whole thing is bullshit. That Astarte is Astra, an Easter holiday, and blah 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 blah, which is so. Astarte or some people pronounce Astarte, is a goddess of magical power and magical might. So she is the power of the stars, of astrology. She is where astrology, when I say it impels, it does not compel. There's things that the stars can, depending on your chart, can be good or bad, or can influence. But again, there's also called personal responsibility. She has later on also been identified as the god of Babylon, the goddess Babylon in Loki and Chen or Hanak is Babylon. She's also was identified as the great harlot. Later on, she becomes associated with Lilith. But again, this is also turning a great holy goddess beyond good and evil, and this great venerable goddess into filth. Pure sewage filth from the great goddess to filth. So she also deals with sex magic and sexual rites. And even in Wicca becomes the goddess of the great rite. She's associated with the great rite. She basically, as says, I am the virgin and I am the whore. I am the inexhaustible and incorruptible. That she is the great goddess of all. In stories when Baal fights Yam, because Yam was given great power and he becomes a tyrant, and Baal is not having any of it, especially what Yam was going to do with Asherah, the mother. Long story there, is that Astarte is to the left of his hand, and Anat is to the right, and restraining him from killing the messengers of Yam. So Astarte and Anat can stay the hand of Baal from doing anything out of rashness, or when he's going to be too harsh and he's not going to do good decisions. They can say, hey, they can rein him in. They're able to stay the hand of the mighty Baal. So Astarte is also, she's an advisor to Baal. She gives him good wisdom. She would say, no, this is not a good decision. Or she could say, yes, that is a good decision. She is great with wisdom. She is the one that says, hey, this is not good to do. This is good to do. Let's do this. She can calm his fury, but she can also incite it. She is also the power of the womb. She deals with the uterus and the ovaries and the fertility of all feminine beings. Sometimes she's even envisioned, and there's images of her where she holds this bowl beneath her breasts, which are pierced so that milk will flow through the statue and from her breast and into the milk, representing mother's milk. So she's a goddess of lactation and nurturing. She is the goddess of the wet nurse, which what a wet nurse is. So if your breasts have dried out or you are not breastfeeding, there was in ancient times you had a wet nurse who would nurse the child. That's a wet nurse. That's when you talk about wet nurse, is a woman who breastfeed a child, especially that is not theirs, and it could be a sister, a friend, who does this. So she's not only have she's a mother but also a midwife, she's also a wet nurse. She is both the healer and creator as well as a destroyer. Now, dating back to the 7th or 6th centuries BCE in Spain, she was seen sitting on a throne, enthroned, with either side of her were sphinxes. And again, and shown her as a queen and as a mother. Sometimes she is seen as a beautiful woman wearing a Philistine helmet and holding lilies in her hands. Of course, where else would she be holding it? She is the goddess of nature. She is Mother Nature. She deals with Mother Earth. She's a god. So, for those who are gardening and who has farms, look no further than Astarte to help you with that. She is the great star goddess. As you see her symbols here, her star, and here. Another thing to give her, and I forgot about this, is wine. She's an ale, cakes and ale. But no, wine, red wine, sweet wines especially. But red wine and sweet wines. There was one time cakes were burned to her. That sometimes they would burn cakes or eat to her. Astarte she has become more and more of an all-purpose goddess, where she's the goddess of this and great goddess of that. And she is popular again, especially among the neo-pagans. So the Hebrew word for Astarte was bullshit. Bullshit. Boshet. That's what I was looking for shame. They would call her Bashtet. Bashit. And Ashtaroth was again the plural meaning of Astarte. But they would call her Bashit. That was the word I was looking for. Sorry, I don't use a script or notes. And it was Josiah. That's what I was looking for, not Jeremiah. Josiah, who later. So if you look in the that's the book I was looking for, Kings. In the Bible, I think it's 1 Kings. I can't think of the verse, but it shows that her cult places her temples or shrines to Astarte or Ashtaroth were destroyed by Josiah. I think I said it was Josiah. I don't know. But it was Josiah. And the book of Jeremiah also showed how, the Queen of Heaven, like Asherah and Astarte, whom the Canaanites burned offerings to and poured out libations to. And they said when they stopped worshipping the Queen of Heavens, well, their crops were growing. So they start having a famine like. Even among the Hittites, they worshipped her. In Ugarit, Egypt, and just the Middle East. So Astarte, you can give her, she loves beautiful jewelry, poems and music. You can write poetry to her. You can sing a song to her, write a song, write a musical piece. She loves music and dancing. She loves she loves sensuality. She loves romance. She also loves the carnal desire. She loves wedding nuptials. She loves the ceremony and the reception. So she loves that. She loves parties. She loves celebrations. She loves balls and joyful gathering. Is Astarte a demon? She is a goddess, people. But now she's also seen as a goetic spirit. And with the Goetia, with Astaroth, you are to wear the ring unless her power hypnotizes you and you are overpowered by her scent and her energy. That the exorcist is to wear the ring. Ooh and ah. That's fine if you do that. Hey, whatever floats your boat. I used to do the Goetia and the triangle. I do work with goetic spirits, but in a different way now. So, Goddess can help you with the love spells, beauty spells, prosperity spells, protection, defense, and offense. She's the mother of mothers. So she has become associated with the moon, as well as she is also a goddess of Venus. There's also have been many clay plaques of Astarte that has been discovered in Palestine as well as Syria. Palestine and Syria. We're talking about from the 1700 to 1100 BCE, before the Common Era. I like using BCE because BC and AD is Christian, so I use BCE and CE. She's been used as fertility charms and spells, so she could be used to help you get pregnant and fertility. But now she eventually becomes a demon, a fallen angel in Milton's Paradise Lost. Ooh. Ashtaroth, that shameful spirit of the Phoenicians, the called Astarte, the so-called queen of heaven with the crescent horns on her head. The bright image in the nightly moon. The virgins of Sidonia paid her with their vows and songs. Ooh, from the Paradise Lost. So from goddess to devil. From the queens of heaven to the queen, to the goddess, to the spirit of hell. Whatever. So for women who are dealing with diseases of their feminine organs, like breast cancer or uterine cancer or uterine fibroids, can also call her for help. And of course, modern medicine, doctors, medication, but they can call for the help. Also dealing with postpartum depression, they could find comfort with the goddess. So she deals with all of that. Cystic breast disease. Anything to deal with that. She is a goddess who deals also with civilization. And society. So in the Bibles, if you look in Judges, what is it, chapters, I think it's 2 and 6. Gideon, who actually means mighty warrior, Gideon destroyed his father's altar to Baal and Asherah and Astarte. Asherah and Baal. But he did it at night. He was too scared of the townspeople and his family members. So, like a thief in the night, he came in and smashed it. But even into when Judaism became more into the where Judaism has one God. This there were Semitic people and that continued to worship the goddess Asherah and Astarte, despite what their prophets were saying. Despite the words of the prophets, and I would say they were extremists where women were now less than a man, that her menstruation is filthy and dirty instead of sacred, and that the blood of her birth, and that she is polluted as well as the blood of the birth, and that she is less, and that the feminine powers are to be diminished and demolished. And how the Abrahamic religion looked at women from Judaic and Christianity and Islam, of the man is higher than the woman. And you even get the radical Christians. They're almost like they're close to radical Islam, of he's your patriarch. You can't say no to him. Screw happy wife, happy life. It's happy spouse, happy house. How dare you demand your husband make you happy and treat you the way you want to be treated? You are under the rule of your husband. It is man and wife, not husband and wife. Man and wife, and you take his name. You live in his home. You follow his rule. Let me tell you something. The rule of thumb. Back in the day, it was okay to beat your wife with a stick as long as it was not as thick as your thumb. If the stick was thicker than the man's thumb, then he could be arrested for abuse. But if it was just as thick or thinner, it was okay. I was like, holy shit. Did y'all know that? I've known this for a long time. The rule of thumb comes from that. And that a man was responsible for his woman. He has to rein her in and control her. The woman's life is to serve the man and the family and be married off. This comes from radicalism and extremism. Fuck that shit, right? Do you know temples to Asherah coexisted with Yahweh in Mizpah? That was located north of Jerusalem. And King Ahab and his wife Jezebel were devout followers of the Canaanite deities of Astarte, Baal, and Asherah. So, King Solomon constructed a high place or sanctuary to Astarte, or the Astartes, or they considered Astarte to the goddesses, who they call Astaroth, the many Astartes. Are you okay, Jack? Jack. Hey, baby. Come on. So, Astarte was seen as a nurturer, but also a defender. Okay, baby. Okay. What's going on? Okay, baby.
Okay. Oh. No, 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 no. You're okay. He's just having. Okay. It's okay. I think he's got a hairball. It's okay. It's okay, baby. It's not, no, it's not congestive heart failure because he had a visit to the vet last week. So, it's just a hairball. There he goes. He's eating. He's fine. Oh, you scare me, my little boy. Come here. I want to see you. Come here. Oh, no, no, no. Jack. Can y'all see Jack? He looks like Shadow, doesn't he? He's a big baby, isn't he? He's 16 plus. He's 16. He's 16. Oh, he's going to be 17, aren't you, baby boy? You're part Bengal and part Tabby. Yes, you are. And he was so big. From pictures that I've seen. Yes. He used to be a big boy. He's an old cat. But anyways, Astarte is also luxurious energy. Very powerful. Very glorious. Great. Erotic goddess. Fish were also given to her, seafood. So she also deals with fish. But seafood is also another good offering. I'm sorry. So go back to your notes if you're writing. Fish is also given to her. So we could think about, we can give her in modern days broiled fish, air fried fish, southern, think of a catfish, any type of fish and seafood you like. Again, shellfish and fish, so we say seafood. Because we don't call shrimp fish, but we call that seafood. So shrimp is luxurious, and she's also anything that's aphrodisiac, which oysters, chocolate is considered an aphrodisiac. Nowadays, shrimp and lobster is also considered luxurious. Come on, Joker, that was mean. You've been very mean today. You should be ashamed of yourself, you bully. He's hitting Jack. I'm gonna have to have my baby boy here. But anyways, there's so much to learn about Astarte, and the cats are getting unruly. So I'm gonna end this, and thank you very much for watching this. I really appreciate this. Every time you view my video, it changes the algorithm, and it goes further out there. Oh, stop it, Loki. Here, go play with something. I actually thought that was Joker, and I picked up Loki, and he was about to bite me. But if you like my channel and like this content, please like and subscribe, because it lets me know that I'm doing a good job. I want to thank you to all my subscribers, because I already passed the 500 point. So thank you very much. These cats are getting unruly. No, Joker, you're not going to hit Jack. Inoki, you're looking to cause trouble. Cats. 8 of them. I mean, Max stays in the room. He doesn't really come out, Lord Maximus. But anyways, thank you so much. And Happy, if you celebrated, happy Thanksgiving. Also, happy Native American, Native Indian celebrations. I want to give thanks to all the veterans of the United States that fought that, and also active service members, because freedom isn't free. Thank you so much. And oh, I'm excited. I just brought my ticket to see Pantera February 5th in what's it called? Oh, I can't even think where I'm going. It's February 5th. Tampa, Florida. That's what I was about to say. Palm Beach. No, it's Tampa, Florida. The other side of Florida. So, yeah, it was a beautiful day in northern Florida. I wanted to get this out to you because I'm going to be on my vacation. And thank you so much for... I'm taking a vacation, so thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And be kind to animals. Be kind to children. Be kind to the elderly. Be kind to the disabled. Be good to yourself. And as always, blessed be.